February 28, 2026, Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump steps in front of the cameras. He announces that the United States has begun a massive military operation against Iran. Simultaneously, Israel launches strikes targeting Iran's supreme leader. Within hours, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead, the most powerful man in Iran, killed, and the world holds its breath. But here's what most people don't ask. How did we get here? This didn't start in 2026. This didn't start with Trump. This didn't even start with Khamenei. This story begins over 70 years ago with a decision made in secret in Washington, D.C. that set the entire Middle East on fire. This is the story of America and Iran, two nations that were once allies, and how they became enemies that couldn't stop circling each other until one of them finally struck. If this kind of history matters to you, subscribe, because this one goes deep. The coup nobody talks about. To understand everything, you have to go back to a man most Americans have never heard of, Mohammad Mossadegh, democratically elected Prime Minister of Iran. He did something simple. He nationalized Iran's oil, meaning Iran's oil would belong to Iran, not to British or American companies. The CIA, working alongside British intelligence, orchestrated a coup that overthrew him. In his place, they installed the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, a pro-Western ruler, friendly to American interests and deeply unpopular with his own people. The Shah's political enemies saw him as a dictator. Islamic hardliners were outraged. Both groups came to see the United States as the puppet master pulling the Shah's strings. That coup, one secret decision in 1953, planted a seed of rage in Iran that would grow for 29 years.
The Revolution. In 1979, massive protests erupted across Iran. The Shah fled the country. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile and founded the Islamic Republic of Iran, a theocracy that rejected everything the Shah stood for. To Khomeini and his followers, America was no longer an ally. America was the great Satan. Then it got worse. On November 4, 1979, a group of Iranian college students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and took 52 Americans hostage. The ordeal lasted 444 days. Every night, Americans watched the count on their television screens. The crisis destroyed President Carter's chance at re-election, and formal diplomatic ties between the two countries were severed, a break that has never been repaired to this day. The 1980s, when everything got complicated. Iran was now America's enemy, but the story doesn't go in a straight line. Iraq invaded Iran in 1980, triggering an 8-year war that killed hundreds of thousands. The United States, not wanting Iranian revolutionary influence to spread, quietly tilted toward Iraq, sharing intelligence with Saddam Hussein. Then, something almost unbelievable happened. Officials in Reagan's administration were secretly selling weapons to Iran, hoping it would help secure the release of American hostages held in Lebanon, while simultaneously using the profits to fund an illegal war in Central America. America was backing Iraq against Iran. America was secretly selling weapons to Iran at the same time. You genuinely could not make this up. Then, in 1988, a United States Navy warship shot down Iran Air Flight 655. 290 civilians were killed. The crew had mistaken a passenger jet for a fighter plane. America expressed regret, but never apologized. Every one of these moments became a stone in a wall of hatred being built between two nations. The 2000s, Axis of Evil. After September 11th, something strange briefly happened. Iran and America shared a common enemy, the Taliban. The two countries quietly coordinated behind the scenes to help defeat them in Afghanistan. For a moment, cooperation seemed possible. Then, Bush gave his 2002 State of the Union address. He labeled Iran, Iraq, and North Korea an axis of evil. The back channel collapsed. The brief window of diplomacy slammed shut. Following the U.S. invasion of Iraq, Iran sent a diplomatic proposal to Washington, offering broad negotiations covering its nuclear program, regional policy, and relations with Israel. The Bush administration did not formally respond. Historians still debate whether that was the last real chance to avoid everything that followed. The nuclear question. For decades, one issue loomed above everything else: Iran's nuclear program. Here is the part most people don't know. America started it. In 1958, as part of President Eisenhower's Atoms for Peace initiative, the United States provided Iran with its first nuclear reactor. Now, that same technology was being used to enrich uranium, and the West believed it was heading toward a bomb. In 2015, a breakthrough. President Obama negotiated the Iran nuclear deal. Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program. Sanctions were lifted. For a moment, the world exhaled. Then, in 2018, Trump pulled out of the deal. Sanctions returned. Iran began enriching uranium again, faster than before. The clock was ticking.
2025 to 2026, the final countdown. Protests erupted across Iran in late 2025. The economy had collapsed. The currency was worthless. The people were furious. The government cracked down. Internet was shut down for days. Thousands were arrested. Thousands more were killed. Trump threatened military action. Khamenei said Iran would not back down. Negotiations failed. Military buildup began on all sides. Then, on February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a joint military operation. Strikes hit targets across Iran. The Supreme Leader's compound was destroyed. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed. Iran retaliated immediately. Missiles and drones struck American and Israeli military assets across the entire Middle East, in Israel, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Oman. 70 years of tension erupted in a single night. Here is what you have to understand. This was never just about nuclear weapons. It was never just about oil. It was never just about one president or one Ayatollah. This was the weight of 70 years, a CIA coup in 1953, a revolution in 1979, 444 days of hostages, tanker wars, proxy battles across the Middle East, broken deals, and a wall of mutual distrust built brick by brick across 7 decades, finally collapsing under its own weight. Two nations that were once partners, who never found their way back to each other until the bombs fell. What happens next, to Iran, to the region, to the entire world, that story is still being written. But now you know how it started, and now you know who started it. Watch the next video to find out what comes after the fire.